so you can get it more than once. Live to Dr. Bharat Pankania of Exeter University on LBC News. Bharat, thank you so much for being with us. Tell us what norovirus is, first of all, if you would.
So this is commonly known as the winter vomiting virus. It was first identified in Norwalk, Ohio, 1968, United States. And it is found amongst humans and mammals. It is very, very infectious, Andrew. And because it's very infectious, it can knock out, especially young people, babies, and elderly with profuse vomiting, really projectile vomiting and diarrhea. And that's what it is. And that's why we end up in hospital, because of dehydration from that profuse diarrhea and vomiting.
Okay. Why do we suddenly have this prevalence of cases? It's been going on for quite a few weeks now, and it's not getting any better.
Yes, unfortunately, like these RNA viruses are, they make mutations and mistakes. And so whilst you may have been infected by one genogroup of these viruses, genogroup, genotype, that's just how we class them, then you get another genotype come along, and it is slightly different from the one previously. So unfortunately, you're back to square one. Although you have had an infection and you got better, now there is another version in circulation, so you can get ill again. And, Andrew, I would say, look, common things are common, easy things are easy to do. And so if you have this illness, you are sick, you've been vomiting, you've got diarrhea, it's best not to give it to other people. So don't go back to work for at least 2 days after your symptoms have stopped, and continue to wash your hands with soap and warm water and dry your hands. So wash with water and soap and dry it. And that way you can prevent the cases from spreading.
We learned so much about all of this during the COVID pandemic, and it did feel for a while afterwards as though some of these changes were sticking, but now not so much. Basically, the fact that this is spreading around so virulently means that we're not obeying those instructions you've just given us. We can't be.
Oh, well, we always drop our guard because we are what we are. We're humans. And what is required is that reinforcement. But the other piece of advice I would give to our listeners, Andrew, is, look, you have this profuse vomiting and diarrhea. The thing to do is stay put at home. Don't infect your other family members, and have some electrolyte salts at the ready. You can buy these electrolyte salts, especially if you've got elderly and young people at home. These electrolytes help you in the battle whilst you're getting better over 2 or 3 days. So you take your electrolytes, you're less likely to end up in hospital.
Okay. And do you think employers have also forgotten the lessons of the COVID pandemic? Because we're seeing a real drive among employers to get everyone back into the office so that people are not allowed to work from home. I've heard quite a few people say, it's much harder to call in sick than it was a couple of years ago. Do you think that's all a mistake?
It is, in that employers sometimes don't believe their employees and say, no, business has to continue. But that is a false economy, because if that highly infectious employee comes to work, and I mean highly infectious because they will knock your entire workforce out. So it is a false economy. If only managers knew that, this is a false economy, don't do it. But then they always think that the employee may be swinging the lead, so to speak, and they are, insistent on, no, you will come back home, come back to work.
And just Barrett, explain to me about the pressure on the NHS, because the NHS is sort of full to bursting anyway. It's winter time. It's already coping with people who perhaps should be in other settings. And then you add this on top.
So we're always running at full, especially during the winter time, because we've got all those other respiratory illnesses. And then it makes matters a lot worse. Just imagine the situation, Andrew. You get somebody in a hospital with norovirus. They are shedding their viruses in the billions, not millions, billions, and they knock out an entire ward, all those healthcare workers, etc. So it is a concertina effect of even having to admit a norovirus patient, Hence what I said earlier, which is do all you can not to get admitted. How do you get not admitted? Have those electrolytes at the ready.
Thank you so much, Bharat, for being with us. I very much appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Dr. Bharat Pankalia from Exeter University.